we have some great nuggets of wisdom, super creative. These are even like new to me. 5 different ways to come up with a down payment without using all your cash for your first home. And this is like addressing the affordability issue that we have in Canada with rising interest rates. Really want to hear your 5 creative ways.
Absolutely. Tracy, like you said, there is a lot of talk about affordability, but I believe that it's about being resourceful to address the situation, right? So today we're going to go over the options, right? First challenge for the first time home buyers is down payment. I don't have enough down payment. So what are some of the options you have to supplement that down payment? Well, here they are. You can obviously tap into your RSPs. If there are family members that can help you with the down payment as gifted, you can tap into that. These are the traditional ways, but here is the one that many don't think about affordability. Obviously, affordability is a function of prices, qualification, income, and the debts someone may carry. So here are a couple of things you can do to help with qualification. Assuming that the qualification bar does not change, right? What can you do? Well, if you are to buy a property that has an in-law suite, a self-contained unit, whether or not you're going to rent it, the lenders can actually use rents, guesstimate what the rents would be, and by taking that and adding it to your income, it helps you qualify for more. So that is one way to improve the qualification. The other qualification related tip is how can we get rid of some of the debts that may be standing in the way, that are eating up into your ability to borrow money. And I'm going to go back to this whole asset refinancing strategy. You may have a car or more than one car. Is there money there? Can I take $10,000 from there or $5,000 and clear a credit card or a portion of that credit card to bring the monthly payment down? Now, all of a sudden, the numbers look better from a lender standpoint. That's another trick. So we talked about down payment, and these would be the two on qualification.
Okay, so let's talk about that in-law suite because I'm hooked on this. I'm so big on house hacking. Please. So, for example, if a property has an in-law suite that can generate $1,000 per month, that means that over a year, that's $12,000 a year. So, a portion of that income could be used to supplement your income in the qualification of that mortgage,
Yes,
right?
yes, yes,
Oh,
yeah,
that's cool.
yeah.
So someone with the $60,000 salary who's worried about their salary not qualifying for that property may actually be benefiting if they found a property with an in-law suite because that income from the in-law suite would be added to their salary.
Exactly. The typical standard method is first time home buyers go to an online calculator or go to somebody and say, I make X, I want to buy a house in this price range. Here are my debts, here's my income. Do I qualify? No, sorry, you don't qualify. That's where the conversation stops. Instead, we need to think about, okay, why don't you qualify? Is it income? Can we add more income to the application if we go with a property with an in-law suite? Can I add someone to your application, maybe a parent temporarily? Is it debt? How can we get rid of that debt? Can we refinance assets to pay it off? Is it credit? Obviously, that's a different story, but that's how we have to think. Why is it a no? And how can we solve for the things that are contributing to that no versus just let's plug the numbers in. Oh, do I qualify? Yes or no?
Yeah, for sure. Because this really hits home when people always say that the properties are costing more, and people are worried that they can't get into the market. And you're finding all these other creative ways to help them actually qualify potentially for this property that they want.
Yeah.
Cool. I never heard of this. This is
There's always a
amazing.
way. There is always a way.
Always away, you guys, always away. Let's talk about, you also have one more, and this is a bit more creative, but let's talk about it. Let's open this up.
Yeah.
The
So
last one.
this one is about going with stepping stones, right? To get into the housing market. It is not the permanent long term solution, but there is an opportunity cost to not owning a property. So, what am I referring to here? If you're going to rent, and we all know the rents have been increasing, right? The rents have been increasing in many markets. Why not rent and have the option to purchase the property you are renting at a predetermined price? So let's say you're paying $2,000 in rent today, you love where you live. Can you get into an agreement with the landlord to be able to purchase this property from them in the future? That is called a rent to own arrangement. And what a rent to own does for someone who's renting is it does give them that option to purchase it, but they would actually benefit while renting from the future appreciation of that property versus just renting and then the lease is up and they don't own anything. So there are some very reputable rent to own companies out there. And of course, you have to do your homework, but rent to own may be an option for you to get into a house that you love, where you're still renting, but you're also benefiting from that future appreciation because you're going to have the ability or the option to own the property, and you can get into such arrangements with much less down payment compared to if you were to go and buy a house today. Again, it is a stepping stone, better than just renting, and you got to do your homework, but sometimes it takes stepping stones to get to the final destination. So that is an option that I always explore for clients as well.
That's true. I never thought of it from that perspective. Just for my audience, very simply, rent to own is like you give a tiny down payment. It goes towards that home that you're renting.
Yes.
And this is a service that a company offers. And then part of the rent that you pay every single month, which is a bit higher than what you would pay market, but that difference actually goes towards your down payment.
Yes.
And then you lock in on a price that you think this property's worth, say 3 years down the road. That's what you're going to work off of. So, for example, like a property that you are renting is maybe worth $400,000 right now. You agree with this company that maybe it's worth, I don't know, 450 in 3 years' time or 500. And then it works. And then you try to build your credit along the way so that you could qualify for that place that you're already renting and actually you could buy it. But you're saying, Dalia, for sure. I really want to emphasize that this is not just go to any rent to own company. Please, there's quite a few that have not done well. It's
Exactly.
always about finding that right company. And I believe, Dalia, you have some resources that people can go to. So I will include for sure Dalia's contact information. You got to speak to her team because, as you know, her team knows all these creative ways of actually making it more affordable or qualifying you for your first home. That is amazing. Thank you, Dalia.
I just want to leave everybody with the message that there are always possibilities. The fact that you have not found them yet doesn't mean that they do not exist. Okay.
Yeah, I think, yeah, because we are taught traditionally, or when you go to a bank, you just say, okay, what's my income? Do I qualify based on the income? But you realize there are actually other sources of income, like the in law suite.
One very, very, very creative method that maybe it's worth mentioning very
Sure.
quickly, given the market conditions. You guys, properties are sitting on the market longer than they're typical because of the market conditions we're in. What I'm seeing is that I'm seeing more sellers being open to the idea of seller financing, meaning giving you a mortgage. Okay. So there may be opportunities on the street where you can get a mortgage from the seller the same way you get it from a bank. And what that does for you is that allows you to negotiate the terms with the seller, but also get into the deal with less down payment. So don't discount the idea of seller finance, especially in market conditions like the ones we're in right now.
Yeah, so in layman's terms is basically I've seen this on MLS where it says seller financing. It just means the person selling the property is willing to actually give you the property based on predetermined conditions. They'll basically supply you the mortgage is what they're
Exactly.
doing
Exactly.
for a short period of time.
Yeah.
And it's a great win-win situation because why would anyone do this is because the seller may not want to get hit with also high capital gains. Like all of a sudden just get like a $300,000, $400,000 prop capital gain that year. That means that's $300,000, $400,000 added to their income, which puts them in a super high tax bracket when they could just throttle it and just say, oh, have that portion of the income coming in every single year for the next 3 to 5 years or whatever it is. So it's really a great tax incentive for someone selling because definitely I consider that when I was selling my property.
Yes.
So that's why I'm putting that hat on. But it's also great incentive for someone who's like needs to be could be like self-employed and may need another way to get into the market. Even if you have reoccurring income, you know, it could be painful process to qualify for a mortgage. So Dalia, where can we find you to learn more about these very creative strategies?
You can always get in touch with us at info@streetwisemortgages.com.
Thank you, Dalia. As always, super helpful. This is all nuggets of wisdom from like a team that's been in this business for so long. That's how you figure it out. And you worked with thousands and thousands of clients. Well, thank you so much,
My
Dalia.
pleasure, Tracy.
Awesome.